People talk about Article 5 like it is a switch. One hit, one border crossed, one missile lands, and suddenly the largest military alliance on Earth is awake. That is the myth. One country gets attacked, and the whole machine moves at once. Bombers, fighters, fleets, panic, headlines, global shock. It sounds clean, instant, mechanical. But real power is never that simple. Article 5 is NATO's collective defense clause. It means an attack on one ally is treated as an attack on all. That is the message burned into the treaty, not a slogan, not theater, a warning. Touch one, and you gamble with all of them. But it is not an automatic war button. It does not force every capital to answer in the same way, on the same hour, with the same weapon. It does not mean B-52s are instantly in the air, B-2s are crossing oceans, B-21s are suddenly part of the shadow, or F-35s and F-22s are already screaming toward the edge of the fight. That is not how the clause is written, and that is not how serious states operate. The real language is colder than that. Each member will take such action as it deems necessary. That means every nation decides. Some may send forces, some may send intelligence. Some may harden air defense, move ships, lock down cyberspace, or bring economic force to bear. And that is exactly why Article 5 is dangerous to test. Its greatest weapon is uncertainty, not just firepower, not just numbers, uncertainty. Because if you strike one NATO country, you do not know what comes next. You do not know whether the answer is sanctions, cyber retaliation, missile defense, stealth bombers, F-35 packages, F-22 air dominance, or a chain reaction that keeps expanding long after your first move. The second Article 5 enters the conversation. The conflict stops being local. It spreads into command rooms, parliaments, markets, sea lanes, energy flows, satellites, and supply chains. A single strike can tear open a global crisis. That is why this matters. It changes how Russia calculates. It changes how every rival power measures risk. Because the question is no longer, can I pressure one state? The question becomes, am I ready to face the industrial, political, and military weight of an alliance that can reach across continents? And none of that works without resolve. A treaty alone is paper. Article 5 only has meaning if governments have the nerve to make it real, the courage to act, the discipline to stay united, the will to make deterrence believable. That is also why Article 4 and Article 5 are not the same thing. Article 4 is consultation, a warning light. Article 5 is collective defense. That is the moment the world understands the line may have been crossed for real. And Article 5 has only been formally invoked once after September 11, 2001. Once. That is the point. Its strength is not in being used often. Its strength is in making enemies fear what happens if it ever is. So no, Article 5 is not magic. It is something far more serious. A promise backed by ambiguity, capability, and consequence. And when that promise hangs over B-52, B-2, B-21, F-35, F-22, and the full weight behind them, the price of miscalculation becomes enormous.